Okay, so as usual, we're going to start off by looking at the economic calendar to see if there are any reports of major importance coming out. So I'll just bring up the economic calendar. So today is Tuesday, the 16th of March. Tuesday, the 16th of March. And, you know, we're now looking at two markets. So we're now looking at the Euro-US dollar and the dollar Canadian dollar because we're now introducing our North American colleagues onto the platform. So because we now have our North American colleagues, especially colleagues from Canada, we'll be looking at the Euro-US dollar and the dollar Canadian dollar. And as you know, we now have two separate live trading sessions. So we have the one today, every Tuesday morning, and then we have one again tomorrow, every Wednesday. Well, every Wednesday morning Canadian time, but obviously that to be midday UK time, or I think it's actually midday UK time. So it's 6 a.m. in the morning Toronto time, and then midday UK time every Wednesday. So obviously you're all invited. So due to that, we're going to be looking at two markets now, the Euro-US dollar and the dollar Canadian dollar. And of course, just another reminder that if you do want to trade multiple markets, if you have not yet watched the Money Management Part 2 session, please do watch that, the Money Management Part 2. So if you want to trade more than one market, do make sure you watch that session. It's on there on the featured section of the platform, because it's very important you understand and apply good money management if you want to trade more than one market. Okay, so today is Tuesday, the 16th of March. And like I said, we're going to be looking at the Euro-US dollar and the dollar Canadian dollar. So we'll be looking for reports of medium importance and also high importance that could affect euro, the dollar, or the Canadian dollar. Okay, and again, I'm using GMT plus 2. So all these are all Rwandan times GMT plus 2 that I'll be quoting. So obviously you make sure your own economic calendar is adjusted to your own time zone. So let's have a look. You can ignore France. Sorry, France, Hong Kong, Italy, we can ignore all that. So at 12 noon today, we have the Euro area and Germany economic sentiment index. So we've got two reports of high importance coming out, excuse me, at 12 noon Rwandan time. Obviously, this will have an impact on the Euro-US dollar because this would impact the euro. So that's at 12 noon. So that's the first report of high importance due out today that would specifically affect the Euro-US dollar because it's the euro that this will affect. And then we can ignore reports of low importance. And at 2:30, we have the US retail sales. And that's a report of high importance too. And again, as we all know, reports out of the United States affects all markets. All markets are affected by reports out of the United States. So that would affect all currency pairs, stock market, bond markets, commodities market. All markets are affected by reports of high importance due out from the United States. So this report at 2:30 is going to affect the Euro-US dollar and also the dollar Canadian dollar. And that is the last report of high importance today. So because this report at 2:30 out of the United States is going to affect all markets, we're just going to avoid trading prior to 2:30 Rwandan time. And again, this report at 12 is not more important than the US report. So again, this is the thing about trading that you need to take each day on its own. So for example, if this report at 12 noon was the European Central Bank interest rate decision, and then you had the US retail sale at 2:30, I will not wait till 2:30, obviously. Or even if we had, for example, the Euro area inflation rate. So if we had the inflation rate report from the Euro area at 12, I'll be trading at 12. I won't wait till 2:30. So again, it's always try to judge which is more important. So today, the US retail sales is more important than the economic sentiment index. So I'll wait till 2:30 before I trade either the Euro US dollar or the dollar Canadian dollar. But as usual, you also make sure you check the rest of the week, which I always post on the platform on Monday. So you would have seen my post from yesterday morning that we've got some big reports coming out later on in the week, starting from tomorrow, Wednesday. So tomorrow is Wednesday the 17th. We've got the Euro area inflation rate, the Canadian inflation rate, but the big one is obviously the US interest rate decision. So tomorrow evening, we have the US interest rate decision. And of course, that's of huge importance. Like I said, interest rate decisions, currencies are sensitive to interest rate decisions. So interest rate decisions do have a huge impact on currencies or currency market or the Forex market. And of course, like I just said earlier, reports out of the United States affects all markets. So, the US Federal Reserve interest rate decision tomorrow from the United States is a huge report. It's a report of mega importance. So, like I said in my post on the platform yesterday, you need to be careful trading prior to that report tomorrow. So on weeks like this, you only want to have one attempt a day prior to that report. The market was just trending sideways yesterday, which is not surprising. So I didn't trade at all. Today, I'm just going to have one attempt at 2:30 when the US retail sale report comes out, and that will be it, just one attempt in view of this US interest rate decision coming out tomorrow evening. That's of huge importance. So there's a likelihood the markets could just trend sideways from Monday, yesterday, all the way till this report tomorrow evening. So that's not the other thing we have coming up. So Thursday, the 18th, is the turn of the United Kingdom. So United Kingdom, the Bank of England interest rate decision comes out on Thursday. Of course, this won't directly impact the Euro, US dollar, Canadian dollar, but obviously UK being the financial capital of the world, one has to be careful trading prior to the Bank of England interest rate decision. So it could have an indirect impact on all currency pairs and all markets. So again, one has to be wary about this Bank of England interest rate decision due out on Thursday afternoon. And Friday, we have Bank of Japan interest rate decision, but that's only if you're interested in trading currencies paired with the yen. So the big ones for us this week, we trade in the Euro US dollar and the dollar Canadian dollar, will be the US interest rate decision tomorrow and the Bank of England interest rate decision on Thursday. So in view of that, coming back to today, we already know that the last report of high importance today is at 2:30. So I'm going to avoid trading either the dollar Canadian dollar or the Euro US dollar. I will avoid trading them till 2:30. And at 2:30, when I look for trading opportunities, I'll only be having one live attempt at the market in view of the US interest rate decision due out tomorrow. Okay, so again, also keeping our market watch, see if there's anything causing uncertainty in the global markets. So there's not really much going on. The US $1.9 trillion stimulus package has been passed, so that's come and gone. Vaccine is going on, vaccination is going on worldwide. So there's really nothing untoward going on that's causing uncertainty. Uncertainty, that's the key word, uncertainty. So there's nothing really causing uncertainty in the markets, and there are no public holidays in the UK or USA. Okay, so we can just focus on our trading for today, which is avoiding the markets till 2:30 to the US retail sales report. So let's have a look at the charts, starting with the swing trading. So I'll start with the Euro US dollar. So I'll go to the daily time frame. So we can see the market is currently falling. The moving average today, we just put your cursor on the moving average for today. I mean, the candlestick for today. And the moving average 50 is 1.2065. So I'll just adjust my pending buy order to 2 pips above that to 1.2067. 2067, and adjust my stop loss to 1967, 100 pips. So that's it for the swing trading for the Euro US dollar. Then for the day trading, I go to the 5-minute time frame. And the market was trending sideways yesterday and marked out the sideways trend yesterday. And the market is still trending sideways within these 2 white lines, because I identified the high and the low of the sideways trend yesterday in the evening and just marked out that sideways trend. And you can see the market is still trending within these 2 white lines. But of course, I'm not placing any trades now. I'll wait till 2:30 or just before 2:30 and reassess for trading opportunities then. But at the moment, it's currently trending sideways, and the pivot point is within the sideways trend. Let's go to the USD-CAD. So looking at the USD-CAD, again, we'll start with the daily time frame. From a swing trading point of view, you can see the dollar, Canadian dollar is trending down. So for the dollar, Canadian dollar, I use the moving average 100. So for dollar, Canadian dollar, and the pound dollar, I use moving average 100. For all other currency pairs, I use the moving average 50. But for USD CAD and the pound dollar, I use the moving average 100. So looking at the moving average today, 100, put my cursor on the candlesticks for today. The moving average 100 today is 1.2754. So 2 pips above that is 1.2756. So I'll adjust my pending buy order to 2756. And the stop loss 200 pips to 2656. So my swing trade is done for the dollar CAD. Go to the 5-minute time frame. So same thing to the USD CAD was trending sideways between that narrow band yesterday. So I marked out the sideways trend. You can see it's just spiked the upper part, but it's still trending sideways. So I'll just move this high of the sideways trend to the new high there. So the high there is 1.24872. I always like to round it up, even if it's 72. To 2488, so 2488. There we are. So that's sideways trend. So again, same as the Euro US dollar. So the USD CAD, I will just leave it alone for now because of the report coming out at 2:30 from the United States, and reassess again just before the report. And you can see the pivot point is still within the sideways trend for the USD CAD. Okay, so that's my plan for today. Any questions? Excuse me. Any questions? If you have any questions, you can raise your hands or send your question through to the question box. Any questions, problems, issues, Complaints. Hello, Ozzy, long time. Oh, I thought you had a question, Ozzy. Oh, your audio is not playing ball. I can see you unmuting yourself, Ozzy, but I can't hear an audio. Maybe it's the COVID affecting the system. Or do you want to try typing your question in the chat box if your audio is giving you problems?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you now.
No, I don't have a question. I'm actually.
Oh, your audio is coming and going, Ozzy. We've lost you again. Good to hear your voice, albeit very briefly, Ozzy.
in Nigeria, and the reception is the network.
Oh,
keeps breaking up.
You're in Nigeria.
Yeah, I've been in Nigeria, so the connectivity is really poor out here.
Oh no, I miss
home.
In the
East, yeah.
I need to leave Rwanda and go back to Nigeria. Not? Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay, I hope your audio will stay. So I can hear you now. What were you going to say?
No, I have no. I don't have a question. It's just been playing up. I've just been listening in. I don't have a question.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, all the best in Nigeria, and say hello to them. Say hello to them for me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
I will.
Any questions? Any more questions? Comments? Complaints? Hello, Abimbola. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Abimbola. Morning.
It's a question on the day trading. So
Okay.
I don't really day trade, but I am interested in at some point in getting into the day trade. I haven't set any so I noticed that you don't have the R1, R2 on the day trade.
I do.
I don't think I saw that.
Oh, okay. I hope you still have the recordings from the course.
I do, but you know, the day trade wasn't. We had the day trade. It wasn't as detailed as the 5-minute trade one. So
no, what I remember that is that it's up to you how you adjust your charts. So if we had a session on how to use the MT4 platform. So for example, if you put your cursor on the vertical scale here, you click, hold, and scroll up and down, you can see all of them. So you can see that's the pivot, that's S1, S2, pivot, R1, R2. So it's just depending on how you adjust your chart that you see what you want to see. So
and this is for the day trade?
Yeah. What was the day? Well, it goes back to I guess because you haven't day traded for a while. Because when it's the strategy for swing trading is different from the strategy from day trading. So with day trading, what I use is the 5-minute time frame and the pivot point strategy. And of course, I use the moving average to complement the pivot point strategy. So when I'm, just like I just showed you now, when I'm swing trading, I go to the daily time frame, D1. So it's the daily time frame I use for my swing trading. And then when I want to day trade, I drop down to the 5-minute time frame, M5. Then when I drop to the 5-minute time frame, I use the pivot point strategy to day trade. And then it's just a question of you adjusting your chart to see your entry levels. Because, for example, let's just assume I was going to trade now. Like I say, you don't trade within a sideways trend. and the pivot point is within a sideways trend. So if the market goes up, the first available point I can trade would be to buy above R1 there. And the first place I can sell is S1 because they're both outside the sideways trend. But I think, yeah, so it's a combination of everything. You are adjusting your charts to see your pivot point levels, obviously knowing how to use the pivot point strategy and when to use it. Like today, we're not going to do anything till the report at 2:30. And then it's just you then placing your order when the time comes in the appropriate place. So like I said, if we're about to trade now, the appropriate places will be to sell below S1 and buy above R1 because they're both outside the sideways trend. And S1 at the moment is 1902. So I'll be selling 2 pips below that at 1.1900 and stop loss of 20 pips, 1920, and profit limit of 60 pips. So that'll be minus 60. I need to bring my calculator out. Can't do mental maths. 1900. Oops, too many zeros. 1900 minus 60. So that will be 1840. 1.1840. So that could potentially be the trade I'll place at 2:30 if the market is still trending sideways by then, you know, selling below the S1, 20 pips and 60 pips profit limit. But like I said, I'm not going to be trading now before the report. But yes, I think it's remembering the combination of all those things about day trading compared to swing trading.
Okay. Maybe I asked the wrong question.
Oh.
I was really referring to swing trade.
Okay.
So it's the swing trade that I don't actually trade at the moment. I'm trading day trading.
Okay.
On the
So yes. So yes, like I said, with the swing trading, I use the moving average for my entry level, for my entry into the market. So that's the fact. It still says, I'll still say the same thing anyway, because like I said,
but you don't use the R1, R2 on the swing trade.
Pivot point is strictly for day trading.
Okay.
Because so if you go back to the teaching on pivot points, the pivot point levels changes at midnight every day. So you only use the pivot points for day trading, only for day trading. And actually, okay, I slightly see what you mean. The other thing you want to do, which might be what I can see you also referring to, is that because pivot point is only used for day trading, yeah?
Yeah.
And I only use the 5-minute time frame for day trading. So when I set the pivot point on my platform, I only set it to show on the 5-minute time frame. And you can do that by going to your right click on your chart, you select your indicator list, you select the pivot point, you edit it. Now I'm going to tick all time frames. So I'm going to tick all time frames and okay. So when I tick all time frames, then yes, you will see it on my D1. You will see it everywhere. M30, D1, every time frame you will see the pivot point level. But you can see when I want to swing trade, it's just obscuring my view. I don't need it because I'm not going to use it for swing trading. Am I, Abimbola?
No.
So I'm not using this pivot point for swing trading. So I don't want it obscuring my view. So that's why I set it to, let's go back, right click over the chart, select indicator list. So that's why you edit, I untick all time frames and just choose M5. So that way I only want to see it in my 5-minute time frame. I don't want to see it in other time frames.
Right.
So maybe that's why you're not seeing it when I go to D1. So maybe that's it. Yeah.
And you only use the moving average for
swing trading, yes.
Trading.
In the past, I used to use the Fibonacci retracement, but it's too much hassle because you need to keep changing it. And again, I didn't capture a lot of pips with it. So for example, now the market is trending up. You just do your Fibonacci retracements that way. And while it's still trending up, so what you do is it's sort of like pivot points, but you just trade from one retracement to the next retracement. So, if the market is, for example, now you could have sold here where you broke the Fibonacci retracement, and your aim is to trade from this retracement point to the next retracement point. But you can see, I realized I caught more pips with the moving average than with the Fibonacci retracement. And then, of course, the market is trending down, like we see here with the USDCAD. You do the retracement the other way around. And then you trade from one retracement to the next retracement. But yeah, now I just stick with the moving average as my strategy. What am I doing? Objects, there we are. Fib. Are you okay with that, Abimbola?
I am okay. I don't think I'm very comfortable doing the swing trade just yet. I haven't done swing trade, so I guess it's just a case of watching you doing it.
Go for it. I mean, you can see what we're doing. We're using 10 pips. Sorry, 10 pips. We're using 10 pence per pip. So and again, that's why, again, money management is crucial, because the only way you can begin to get familiar with swing trading and become comfortable is by actually doing it. So you can then do it using 10p, which is what we're doing. We're using 10 pence per pip. So even if we lose 100 pips, we're only going to lose $10 or £10. Sorry?
I'll have to watch the money management again and then decide.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's the thing about trading, unfortunately. If you don't do it, then you're never going to get it. The only way you can become comfortable doing it is by actually doing it.
I'll give it a try and let you know.
Okay, thanks. All the best.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Good morning.
Morning, my dear trader.
Have you? I can see your voice is back in full swing. So
yes, so thank God, thank you. If I was actually thinking the other day, because I've become a farmer now. I'm now a goat and coffee farmer in Rwanda, out of Bordeaux. And sometimes, because the farm is quite a drive away, it's about a 2-hour drive away from where I stay in Kigali. And sometimes the struggle to get back on time or get back I was thinking I should get Bola to just be running the classes. Let me stay at the farm.
Well, put it this way: I'm becoming an astute businesswoman. Why not? If not, we can always talk and decide the terms. Yes. Oh, dear.
What's your question?
I wonder, is it okay if I share my screen? No, when I spoke to you last week, I spoke about when you have a trade and you leave your live trade to run. Yeah. And you said, so I'm running a live trade since last night. Okay. Okay, so let me see if I can share my screen.
I'll stop sharing mine. But yeah, you can go ahead and share your. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So this is where I am now, £5.95. I'm tempted to close the thing out.
Okay.
I mean, if I were to close it out now, definitely I would be closing out on £5.80.
Exactly.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Because, yeah. So in terms of, we've got the report of high importance coming out at 2:30 your time, which would be 12:30 our time. So pending that, so what I would then do is so it's the normal procedure, just click on new order, put in and look at where the market is, put in my buy or my sell, whichever one is appropriate. So when I've done that and any one of my orders, so both of them will be running at the same time?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, you can do then. So yes, basically you can just leave this trader. In fact, you've got so many options. And again, this is the beauty, I shouldn't say the beauty, but it can be the frustrating thing about trading, is you deciding, I think that's what we discussed last time. So this is actually a good example. So you need to have decided beforehand whether you're just going to let this trade, leave it on its own to either take you out with no loss. I can see that you've done the good thing to move your stop loss to the opening level. So at least you're not risking anything. It's, you know, so if the market goes back up, it will take you out and you won't lose anything. Or it could fall back down and you can make your fix the pips. Or you could just, so that's one scenario where you could just do that and let the market decide what it would do with this particular trade and you can leave it alone. Or like you rightly said, you could just close your trade now and bank your £5.70. So that's the other option you have. But yes, that is to do with this one. So if come 2:30 you place another trade, it would have no bearing on this one. It would be completely independent. It will be completely separate. It would not affect this trade in any way.
Okay. Right then, sorry, because I joined in a bit late. For the euro USD, did I see that you had already placed 2 orders, a potential buy or a sell against?
No.
Oh,
I didn't place any trade. That was the swing trade you saw.
Oh, okay. Well, just like Bola, I haven't even looked at swing trades at the moment.
You should go for it.
Let me get to terms with the daily one, and then we'll take that. And it's interesting though, because you didn't place any trades yesterday, but I placed this trade because I went to bed very late on Sunday.
Yeah.
I placed it around 12:15 or 12:30 in early hours of Sunday morning. So yeah.
Oh, good. Actually, that's a very good point you've made, and I'm happy you did that. Because again, actually, let me really stress on what you've just said, which is very important.
I'm happy. I'll stop sharing my screen now. So that's
okay.
Good, yeah.
Question on Bola's trade.
Sorry?
I have a question on Bola's trade that she was sharing just now.
Okay, go ahead.
So you said that she had moved so Bola had moved
her stop loss.
Her stop loss.
Yes.
To the opening trade.
Yes.
I didn't see that, so I wanted to ask her if that's what she did.
No, you could have, she stopped sharing, but yeah, if you look at her trading platform, that's what I was looking at. You can see, in fact, you can look here on my own platform. When you look at the trading platform, you can see price, SL, stop loss, and TP, take profit. So I saw on her platform, without even asking, I could see her entry price, and I could see her stop loss was exactly the same as her entry price.
Okay. So sometimes it doesn't actually show on the actual graph, but you will see it.
Oh, you should definitely see it. If it doesn't show, that means you haven't done it well.
Okay.
It should definitely show because, and again, that's the other way of you checking is to see actually on the trading platform itself, because the price of your entry onto the market should be exactly the same as the stop loss once you moved your stop loss to the open level. Both of them should be exactly the same.
Would one way of checking that, but this is just me, the way I would look at it, because those dotted lines represent something that an activity that you've done.
Exactly.
So one way is that because normally if your stop loss is different from the entry level, you would have 3 dotted lines. So one dotted line is your entry level, one is your stop loss, and one is your take profit. But on my screen now, it's down to 2 dotted lines. So that means that one line is doubling up. So one line is doubling up as my stop loss and my entry level, and the other one is my take profit.
Yeah,
well, that's what I do sometimes. Even when I do my orders, if I do a buy and a sell, sometimes I look at my lines, and if I can't see all my lines matching up, the dotted lines, and I'm like, something's not right here. Sometimes I use that to assess my screen to make sure that I've done everything correctly.
Yeah. So that's another very good way to check. Well, thanks for that, Bola. Well done. Because that's what, like you can see here, this stop loss here, you can see on my screen, this dotted line is from the swing trade. It's not from the day trade. This is what you can see from my swing trader. It's just encroaching onto the chart here. So it's not actually, this is the swing trade, not my day trade. So just like Bola correctly said, once you see any of these dotted lines, it means it's a trade that is on your platform of some sort. Oh yes, before I forget, what Bola just said about her placing her trade after midnight UK time, because that's very important. Because like I said, the aim of the course and this platform is more as a teaching tool and for learning, but it doesn't mean you have to wait till the sessions before you trade. That's very important, and I'm happy Bola did that, and that's why she's going to take over for me very soon. So don't wait for me before you place your trade. The only reason why we're meeting at 6 a.m. is because that's convenient. So, ideally, just like Bola has done, from the time the markets open from midnight on Sunday, you can start trading. And usually the pivot point levels, you get the new pivot point levels after midnight. So after midnight, once you have the pivot point levels, you can start trading. So if there are no reports of high importance due out that day, no public holidays, nothing stopping you, you can really start trading from just after midnight. But I'm sure no one would turn up for the sessions if I do the sessions at midnight or I do them at 4 a.m. in the morning. I tend to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and trade at 4 a.m. in the morning. So the other reason why we are meeting at 6 a.m. is just purely out of convenience. So you can really start trading from midnight. But yeah, I was in bed, Bola, when you were trading. So I was only when I woke up at 4 o'clock and is what I saw that I had to go by. So I was fast asleep when you were trading, Bola.
Yeah, no, I felt quite cool because I noticed that you didn't trade at all yesterday, and that was because the market was very unpredictable. It was just going up and down. It was mainly in a sideways trend anyway. So if you hadn't entered, there wouldn't really have been any, and it was trading outside of S2.
Exactly.
There were no opportunities.
Yeah. So like I say, you're going to take over this whole thing very soon. And,
Amen. As long as it brings me millions, I'm on the road to becoming a millionaire. I don't really mind.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, but so that's a very good point, please. Because I try my very best to make as many Tuesday sessions as possible and to post on the platform as much as I can. But like I said, the aim is not to make people dependent on me. The aim is to equip you all so that you can make your own decisions and you can trade on your own without me, without having to wait for me. And I think that is the aim. So just like Bola has done, she just went ahead and placed a trade Sunday night. So yeah, the aim is for you to give you the knowledge, equip you, so you can then start making your own decisions in your own time. So if I'm stuck on my farm and I can't make a live session or put a post on the platform, I don't want you to feel as if you can't do anything. So you go ahead with and start making those decisions. So well done, Bola, brilliant. Any other questions? Pleasure. Any other questions, comments? Oh, and again, I'll just highlight again the same thing, just like Bola has done and what I did again to, you can only make a decision based on what you see at the time you want to trade. So never chase the market. So for example, I won't say, oh my God, Bola is selling and she's entered the sell trade and I'm now forcing to find a way to get into a sell trade. No. So she sold when it was an appropriate time and she entered the market just after midnight. But when I woke up at 4 o'clock and looked at the market, there was no opportunity at that time. So always base your decisions based on what you see. Don't get emotional. If you miss a trade, you miss it. That's life. Another one will come along. So that's very important too. Any questions before we go for breakfast? Good, awesome. So no more questions. So I wish you all a very good day. Keep safe and we'll catch you.